Hi, Ashley. Welcome to If Innovation Could Talk.
Thank you very much.
Now, Ashley, you have got a very unique background. I understand when you were 7, you were given your first soldering iron and you got burned using that iron. But instead of being put off, you actually embarked on a personal mission to start rewiring and rebuilding stuff. Now, tell me, what's that about and what does innovation mean to you?
Well, I haven't finished rewiring and pulling everything apart yet. I think it's going to be a life mission. But basically, I didn't give up, and I think that's an important message is you've got to stick with things. And I think innovation itself is a word that's overused nowadays. I think it should be reserved for truly new and clever ways of solving particular problems. And it doesn't matter, like I'm in the tech space, it doesn't matter if it's a tech device or if it's a business process or what it is, but it should be, I think, something that's truly new. And I think it is overused nowadays.
Okay, so speaking of truly new, I believe you are working on reinventing something. So what are you working on now and what is the reinvention based on?
So I guess the most innovative thing that I'm working on at the moment, and probably the most innovative thing I've ever worked on, is our subsea CT scanner. So it's a device for scanning pipework under the ocean. And you can basically send it down under the ocean, it clamps onto the pipe and does a full CT scan. And we've completely redesigned the way a CT scanner works from the ground up using different maths, completely different arrangement. You wouldn't recognize it as a CT scanner. And so it is definitely an innovation.
Okay, so what is the purpose of this product?
So oil and gas companies, obviously things can go wrong, things can go very, very wrong in oil and gas. And it's all about maintaining their assets, their pipes, and they need to be able to check if there's a fault. So this device allows them to go down and check to see if the pipe is corroding, if it's got pitting in the walls, et cetera, completely non-invasively. So there's no risk of upsetting anything while you're down there, without removing coatings, because that's obviously a risk as well. So this device can just go down, clamp on, do a scan, and tell you the status of that pipe.
Are there any other users for this product?
There's definitely other markets we can push into with it. At the moment, we're trying to stay very much focused on the primary one, which is oil and gas. But yes, there definitely is other users.
So what got you involved into this project?
So my background is very techie. I come from a physics and engineering background, and it's a long and convoluted road to get to this point. But basically, I just love building things.
So how are you finding the journey so far as a startup?
I love it. I get up very early every morning. I'm up usually by about 4 o'clock. I ride my bicycle into the office and I just can't wait to get started every day.
What do you think keeps you going?
I would say the desire to win. I like to win, and I like to make good things that when you put it out in the market and you go, that is fantastic. And that feeling, it doesn't last long enough, but I love that.
That's awesome. And that's when you go on to your next reinvention or the
Exactly.
the next iteration of your work. That's wonderful.
Yes.
So there are a lot of people out there who are looking at either reinventing themselves, reinventing their product, or getting into the startup journey. What sort of advice would you give them?
The biggest piece of advice I would give to people, particularly people who are graduating from university, is that I think universities teach something wrong, and that is, you get over 80%, it's a high distinction. You've done well, this is great. In the real world, if you make a product that only works 80% of the time, that is an epic failure. It has to work all the time. And the other thing is a lot of people will, particularly engineers graduating uni, they'll come out, they'll work on something, they'll get it almost done, and then they'll lose interest in the last 20%. Push through, get to 100%, and that's what you have to do to succeed.
Very thoughtful advice. Ashley, thank you so much for sharing, and I wish you all the best in your journey.
Thank you very much.